My dog is in the process of passing. He's so close to the end, and he's been hurting for a long time. And we as a family have decided to do the most humane thing and have a humane euthanasia. Someone will come to the house but I've known it's coming. And when you know that about a soul that you love so much, like a dog, I've raised him since he was, a puppy that we rescued. And there were years after I broke up with Rosie's dad that he lived with him, and then he came back to live with us. But we have so many memories. This death thing, we want to approach it, or society, our culture has convinced us or biased us to approach it with fear. But I think that we can approach things boldly and head on. And what is death? These are the things that bring into mind our beliefs. And I think in a previous video talking about salvation or hell or fear of hell, well, the idea of death has the potential to evoke that kind of fear. But what if this body is just another suit? What if a transition to the afterlife is just the turning of a page into a new chapter that the soul is having, an experience, a new scene that the soul is having? And when he knows that it's his time, when I know that it's his time, I, as a soul that has been a kind of guardian for this soul, and he's been a companion to me, what does that look like? That looks like me just sitting and being present with him. It looks like me taking the time to quiet myself with him, not just sitting next to him on my phone or falling asleep and forgetting that he's there. It means sitting, being present, connecting. And this thing that I do where I ground my energy and I open my heart, when I do that, when I open my heart, when I take the time to remember to take a moment out of my busy day and just ground my body and open my heart, I realize that he's been there with his heart open the whole time. The absolute gift that animals are to us. These companions that share the experience of Earth with us. What's that even about, anyways? I don't know the answers to these questions. But I'm thankful for all the time that we've spent together. All the mountains that he pulled me up. All the times that he jumped into the Rio Grande after sticks and rocks, and watching him circle the mountains and running through snowdrifts over his head and jumping back out and circling us on the path over and over as we were hiking because he was just so fast. Mm-hmm. 。 I just think that it makes the most sense that our souls keep doing this until we've learned what we need to learn, till we've extracted what we need to extract from the human experience. It doesn't mean that there isn't a God. God still is. God is all of the goodness. But this business of heaven and hell, I think those are states of mind. I think those are plots on the spectrum of all the potentials. And that the way we calibrate ourselves, our bodies, our minds will affect where on the spectrum we experience reality. And I can go to a place like a temple, or I can sit in the presence of a teacher, a great teacher like Baba, or one that lived as an example like Christ, and I can recharge by being pulled up to that vibration, to where they're at. And then I go back to my life. I go back to work. I go back to parenting. I go back to, gotta make dinner, gotta do the dishes, gotta do the laundry, I gotta go to work, I gotta come home. What am I gonna pick up? And so there's time for that focused spiritual intention. And then there's time for the busyness of life. And then there is the integration of the two. And so the real spiritual practice takes place outside of the temple, in the living of life and the way that we respond to life as it's happening to us. And sometimes we do better than others. And then we have moments of reflection and say, well, God, I could have done that last one a little better. I think next time I'm gonna X, Y, and Z to do better. And then sometimes we walk away and go, I did better this time. I'm proud of myself. I think there's something exciting happening in humanity as the crumbling of the facades, like government and power structures, just crumble around us. We look around and realize that we're not all that different after all. And that in general, the average person of humanity is actually really pretty much a good person wanting to live their own life. And